Thank you, Gunjan. So we talked about the industry trends, what next 3 to 4 years is going to look like from the industry standpoint, from how we as a software industry is going towards. So what it means for us as a QA community, if industry is going in that direction, how it is going to impact us. There are some viewpoints which I carry, and I want to share that with you. So smack is the new keyword, wherein which Gunjan talked about. Social, mobile, analytics, cloud. These all things are coming. It's going to become a business as usual in next 3 to 4 years. You will see more and more things going on those lines. So from testing standpoint, if you'll go and see what major challenge from mobility standpoint, we are talking about more and more users going towards it. So one of the challenges I see from testing standpoint is gonna, which we are facing now and which we will face more and more when we'll go into future, is the cross platform stuff. So uh, I think that RWD, which is like a responsive web design, will become a de facto or a minimum norm for any website. Similarly, Firefox, there are multiple OSs, multiple platforms coming up, right? So it's not just Android anymore, or it's not just iOS anymore. You will see, like in last year, there are like 4 new platforms, 4 new OSs got launched onto the mobile side. So these kind of things will we keep challenging us, and we need to start thinking on those lines. We can't. We need to think about how effectively we can test these devices, and when we come up with an application which can be seen onto hundreds of devices and 50s of OS in there, how we can effectively test it, how we can think about a single way of test all these devices, and when we can be confident of, oh, this is a production ready, and we can go into it. So this is one of the challenge I see, and we need to start thinking as a community, what's the best way to go forward on it. The next thing which comes to my mind is continuous delivery. So you see, there's a lot of competition in the market of going into production as early as possible. Uh, First, let me know how many people know here what is continuous delivery is before I jump into it. Do people know about what is continuous delivery? Okay. So I'll give you a brief on what exactly continuous delivery means. So we are trying to shorten the cycle of releasing software over a period of time. We were in the waterfall model, wherein we had a release cycle of a year. We went into an agile model, which bring it down to a month and then to the weeks. Now we are talking about releasing software every day or every hour. A beautiful example is Flickr, which is basically, which has like 40 million photographs uploaded on it, millions of user base, and they release software into production 10 to 15 times a day. You can imagine the complexity. Uh, 10 to 15 times a day production release every day. So that is the kind of continuous delivery we are talking about. A new feature, whenever you're, so basically what continuous delivery talks about is your software should be in a state of production release after every check-in. So that is what continuous delivery is coming out to be. So how, as a QA community, we cope up to this? It's like right now 3 or 4 companies doing it, but like, or very few companies doing it, but in future you will see this becoming a more and more of a norm because of the competition you see in the industry. People will like to release software as early as possible, take feedback on it, and think about it. So from QA standpoint, I think this is going to be one of the challenges, how we'll test, how we'll make sure that after every check-in, the code is production ready, and it's going to be testable. It's tested well, and it's usable in the production. Uh, next thing which comes to my mind, which we need to start thinking of, is the DevOps and the infrastructure automation. So Gunjan talked about cloud becoming a de facto, and the trend going up and up. Most of the industry will move towards it. Right now we are looking at about 30% software being hosted, and there will be more. There will be a steep increase in future as well. But from QA standpoint, we can't restrict now ourselves just to the functional aspect. It's more we need to start thinking of from the infrastructure aspect, because that is where the software will be deployed now, and more banks going in there, and more industries going towards that. So we need to start thinking on how we will, from the QA standpoint, how we will also automate infrastructure, how we'll test the infrastructure, how we'll go about the performance testing, how we'll go about a number of things on over the cloud. And there are not much tools available, so this is the right time to start thinking on those lines of how from the automation standpoint, how from the testing standpoint, we start thinking on those lines. That's going to be the next challenge I see in next 3 to 4 years from the QA standpoint. The next piece I see is the personalization bit, which Gunjan just talked about, right? The laptop table which was following her for like on whichever website she was going to, right? So lot of data being collected, and you will see that from the QA standpoint, you need to start thinking on the lines of from the security standpoint, from business standpoint as well, and on the contrary, wherein that okay, business need is to sell stuff, and if we won't follow our customers, how you will sell stuff. So there's a security aspect, but there is a functional aspect or a business aspect to it as well. So we have to start thinking from those aspects how, and it's the data is in bulk. So we need to start thinking on how we will test about those aspects. And this will become more and more frequent in next 3 to 4 years. More and more industry will try to use that data, how they can help their users to come to a right choice, right? So that is one of the trends I see. Another aspect I see now that the industry is more going, because of the reduce in the feedback time, they want to go into production as early as possible. You will see that people will start directly testing things into the production, rather than there will be multiple environments. So you can use cloud very effectively for that. You have an infrastructure, you will deploy the production box, and you will test it, and just first open it for limited set of users, then open it for more users, and then keep on increasing it. What Google is doing, or what Facebook is doing, they release the small bits and pieces to a very limited set of users. They take that feedback, incorporate that feedback, and then open it for multiple users. A recent example is Google Inbox, right? So the Google Inbox is basically, they launched it to limited set of users, and then they said, okay, we'll go slowly on that, and then you can only opt for Inbox if you got referred from someone who has already had a Google Inbox, right? So these are the things which opens up multiple doors. It's limited users. You are opening it for limited users, and then taking that feedback and incorporating that feedback, and then widening it for the wider set of users. So you'll see more and more testing happening in production is one of the trends you will see in my view, next 3 to 4 years. These are the things which I see for next 3 to 4 years. We are talking about future, so we should not, but we should not forget about our present. And would like to call out that there's a similar change in the QA word which happened 10 years back, which is on the lines of automation. So we are celebrating the 10th year of Selenium, which is kind of first open source tool which got launched 10, or in that word got launched 10 years back. Previous to that, most of the tools available were from the corporate or basically corporate environment. So this is an open source tool which got launched 10 years back, and we are celebrating it. So in the lunchtime, we'll have a cake cutting ceremony for the Selenium tool as well.
Thanks, Girish.
Yep.
You have a lot of fun. Like Ritik was saying, there's a lot of talks, and hopefully there is a lot of engagement from you. We're not expecting any questions because people are showing us the time. But yeah, catch us anywhere if you have in the breaks or something like that. We can probably take questions on that as well. Thanks, and over to Ritika again.
Thanks.